Hi, I'm Caroline Francis, Director of UK Alumni Career Services. Today, I'm joined with UK alumna Kelly Holland. Welcome, Kelly.
Hello, Caroline. How are you?
Great. So glad you could join us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Tell us a little about your career path since you've graduated from UK.
Sure. Well, my career started at the University of Kentucky. So I didn't get away after my undergraduate experience and continued into my graduate experience. But after UK, I started a career in higher education. I really had no idea that that would be my starting or launching pad into other areas, but someone noticed that I might have a knack for the University of Kentucky, have a lot of experience there as a student. So they thought I would be a good admissions counselor, somebody who could relate to prospective students and have an opportunity to share my insights of the university. So I started as an admissions counselor and ended as the director of student recruitment. I was associate director of admission. So I completed my master's degree while at the university, and I really grew within the admissions profession with state and national professional associations. I worked in government relations and developed an advocacy campaign to lobby for higher education. And after about 10 years at the university, I started thinking about other opportunities and should I seek, you know, a different industry where I could use the same skills that I had developed at the university. So at that time, I looked at my parallel skill set and where I could make a difference in looking into healthcare and educating in healthcare is where I kind of landed. So I started with Merck as a sales professional. I started in sales and really looked at a different way to educate. I was educating physicians and healthcare professionals about medicines and public health and vaccines. And so now today, I can't believe it, but it's been almost 18 years. I'm an account executive working with large retail accounts and working on public health. And today in this world, public health and vaccines is on every single media outlet. And I feel that it's a great opportunity for me to educate those people in retail that want to help with public health and especially around vaccines. And so I work with the C-suite level. I am the Merck representative that calls on Kroger and Meyer and other retailers across the country. So my role is a national account executive for the vaccines division.
Awesome. What do you know now in your career that you wish you would have known a little earlier in your career, Kelly?
Mm. Well, I think now, looking back, it is okay to not have a linear plan from A to Z. It's okay to kind of look like a road map and maybe a windy country road where you kind of take you come to a fork and you don't know whether you're taking a right or a left, but it's okay. It's okay to kind of be ready, look for that next opportunity, because I didn't go to college and say, I want to be a pharmacist or I want to be an attorney. So people have that linear path. It's a little bit easier for them to kind of envision what that end result is. But for me, it was like, do the things I love and take those twists and turns and learn from them. Keep building on your experiences, I think, is another real vital piece of that. And change will occur. Change is challenging, but it's truly inevitable, especially in your career journey.
True, so true. How does your degree connect to what you've been doing in your career?
Mhm. So my undergraduate degree was in psychology, and my master's was in kinesiology and health promotion. It was in the College of Education. So I really have touched all of those areas, whether it's psychology that you use every single day, whether it's higher education, where I started my career, or kinesiology and health promotion. Merck is really into health promotions. It's not about a particular product, but it's the entire landscape of healthcare. So I really have used pieces of all of my degrees and probably every single day. I'm a big believer that psychology is a foundation to do just about anything you want to do, because you have to work with people and try to understand people. It's all about behavior changes, or what I do every single day, talking with pharmacists about giving vaccines. That's something they have to do to change their behavior or mindset. So psychology you can use on a grand scheme, and then on a micro level, even on a daily communication.
Definitely. Have you had any career defining moments, any aha moments in your career that stand out?
Now that's a hard one. There's been many moments in my career that I reflect back on, but I would say that the career defining moments, the things that stick out in my memory, like even from my higher education days, were really peer awards. So something that I received where I was honored by my peers, peers in education. So for instance, I was really involved with the Kentucky Association of it was CASCAC at the time, but it's now something else. But it was a professional organization of guidance counselors and higher ed admissions people. And so I was honored as the most outstanding admissions professional in Kentucky. And that was coming from my peers. So that was such a important kind of moment. And I really never thought I would leave higher education. That was just kind of where I just really felt at home. And then later, the opportunity to come back and serve my university as a member of the board of trustees has to be one of those defining moments for me to kind of, even though I was out of higher ed at the time, I was able to come back, wear a different hat, and serve the university that I love. And I remember former students and staff members reached out to me at that time, and that was important for me. Like I was able to carry on their legacy, being a trustee with Merck. And I think one of the moments was the Hall of Fame designation that they give to high achieving sales professionals. That was like a goal of mine when I started with Merck. I'm like, I want to be in that Hall of Fame. And so that was really neat. Although that wasn't peer recognition, but I have had some peer recognition within the organization. And most recently, the last 2 years, in a different role in this account executive world, I received a leadership award from my peers for the last 2 years. And that means more than anything I sell or any kind of relationship I develop with a customer. It's really working with my peers and making the most of that.
Have you had any mentors along the way?
So many, so many. But I really honestly think there's one person that sticks out for me. He's still at the University of Kentucky. He's somebody who sought me out after reading some information about me and said, would you be interested in working for the university? Would you be interested in being an admissions counselor? And I'm like, well, what is that? So he was very much a part of my early start. But then when I started to look for other opportunities, I went back to that same person. And he's so good at asking the right questions, not telling you what to do, or he guides you by asking you questions to make you think about things, maybe a little bit differently, maybe give you a different perspective to help you determine what that next step is. And so for me, when I made the decision to go to healthcare, to Merck, he was right there with me to give me some guidance and ask the right questions. And then it was really cool for me to come back as a board of trustees member and serve on a committee with him as a trustee. So I just have seen the full circle. And I was able to go to a professional conference 2 years ago where he was honored in the pharmacy profession. So I just thought that was so cool. When I think of mentorship, I can't imagine someone who's touched me in so many different ways from a career perspective. So I think that's kind of special.
Excellent. Excellent. Very fortunate to have had that.
Absolutely.
What career advice would you have for students or other alumni?
hmm I gave this advice a couple of weeks ago. I was talking to a group of students, and, you know, something that would help them initially, maybe a first job. What are you looking for? Um, you look for that first job that offers a lot of experiences, that's going to develop a big, diverse group of skills. So you can touch different things, whether it's marketing, whether it's publications, whether it's public speaking. Um, and you want to work for someone who is invested in your growth and development. So you want to find somebody who's not necessarily a manager, but a leader. You want somebody who can lead you and somebody you can trust. And I was fortunate to find those people. And you want to have somebody prepare you for whatever that next open door is. So you might not know what that open door is and when it's going to open, but you need to be ready to walk into that door. So I think that's something that is so critical and important. And then really network, network, and network some more. And today it's much easier to network because you have social media and you have LinkedIn, and find those people who can help guide you, that you can rely on, but find somebody you can work for who is a good leader. And I think that's probably most important. And that's hard to do, especially with the first job, but look for opportunities where you can develop your skill set.
And lastly, Kelly, share with us a favorite UK memory.
Mm. For me, it's hard because I had so many, and it's hard for me to separate my student experiences from my staff experiences, from my alumni and trustee experiences. But I go back as a student, the homecoming experience. And the homecoming experience today is very different than it was when I was in school. But for me, homecoming was special because it involved so many things. It involved the entire campus and different groups. There was a parade. There was Wildcat Roar, which was the pep rally that led into the homecoming game. For me, I was involved in the royalty competition, and I was interviewed. I was interviewed by Coach Jerry Claiborne and so many others. I got to go through that whole process. And I remember walking through that process thinking, oh, if I can just get to the field on Saturday, how cool would that be? Because at that time, they brought the royalty candidates out on the field in white horse-drawn carriages. And it was so neat. They circled the field, and you could hear the band playing, and the one worry was falling out of the carriage, or you just never know. But they don't do that today. So those are some memories. A crown, a sash, and roses, all of that was a part of it. The first homecoming king. But that was important for me. That was really cool. And one of my memories I always tell people is that my brother was with me that night. And after I was fortunate to be honored as the queen, it was Midnight Madness. So it was the first practice for the basketball team. And so I left Commonwealth Stadium after the game and literally walked in high heels and suit and carried roses and a crown all the way to Memorial Coliseum so I could be there for Midnight Madness. So those are the kind of memories that I remember as a student.
Great memories. Kelly, thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us. Thank you for the many ways you continue to give back to our large UK community. Thank you so much for your service, and we wish you the best luck in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for what you do for our university.
Pleasure.